When you think of a car that perfectly blends Japanese precision with world-class luxury and a naturally aspirated V8 engine that sings like a symphony, the Lexus LC 500 instantly comes to mind. This isn't just another luxury coupe, it's a car that feels more like an art piece on wheels, one that Lexus designed not only to compete with European rivals but to create a new standard for what a Grand Tourer should be. Today, here on MotriX, we're diving into one of the most breathtaking coupes you'll find in the American market, the Lexus LC 500. Get ready, because this review is not just about specs and features, it's about the kind of car that stirs emotion, the type of machine that turns heads before the engine even starts. The very first thing that strikes you about the Lexus LC 500 is the design. This car is bold, futuristic, and absolutely unmistakable. It carries Lexus's iconic spindle grille at the front, and depending on your taste, you either love it or you love it even more when you see it in person. The way the body lines sweep back, the sculpted curves along the sides, and the low, wide stance makes this car look more like a concept vehicle than something you can actually buy. And here's the thing, this design isn't brand new. Lexus first unveiled the LC in 2017, and yet, almost a decade later, it still looks like something out of the future. That's rare in today's automotive world where designs can feel outdated within just a few years. Underneath that striking exterior lies one of the most talked about features of the LC 500, the engine. At a time when most luxury automakers are moving towards smaller turbocharged engines, hybrids, or fully electric platforms, Lexus stayed true to enthusiasts by keeping a naturally aspirated 5.0-liter V8 under the hood. This engine produces 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque, sending power to the rear wheels through a 10-speed automatic transmission. But numbers don't tell the full story. What makes this V8 special is how it feels and sounds. The moment you press the start button, the engine roars to life with a deep, soulful growl. It's one of the best-sounding engines in the world right now, and the exhaust note has been tuned so carefully that it feels like Lexus built this car as much for your ears as for your eyes. The LC 500 goes from 0 to 60 in about 4.4 seconds. Sure, in today's world of high-performance cars, there are faster options, but the LC isn't about beating the clock on a drag strip. This car is about delivering an experience that's smooth, exciting, and deeply engaging every single time you drive it. The power delivery is linear, there's no turbo lag to deal with, and the shifts from the 10-speed gearbox are sharp yet buttery smooth. On open highways across America, the LC 500 feels like it was built for grand touring, for cruising down Route 66 or carving through the Pacific Coast Highway with the windows down and that V8 soundtrack echoing off the cliffs. Step inside the LC 500 and you immediately realize Lexus wasn't just focused on performance. The cabin is arguably one of the most beautiful interiors you'll find in any car under $100,000. Lexus combined Japanese craftsmanship with modern technology in a way that feels unique compared to the Germans or Italians. You get high-quality leather, Alcantara, brushed aluminum, and some of the most comfortable seats in the industry. The attention to detail is unmatched. Every button, every stitch, every curve of the dashboard feels like it was designed with care. One thing many people don't know is that the door panels and trim were inspired by Japanese culture, with design cues drawn from traditional patterns and even origami influences. This kind of craftsmanship makes the LC stand out in a market full of cookie-cutter interiors. The driving position is low and sporty, but it's also surprisingly comfortable for long-distance travel. Lexus wanted to make sure that this car wasn't just a weekend toy but also something you could drive cross-country without feeling exhausted. And they succeeded. Even after hours behind the wheel, the LC cocoons you in comfort while still reminding you that you're sitting in a serious performance machine. The steering wheel feels precise in your hands, The digital display behind it gives you all the information you need, and the head-up display makes sure your eyes stay on the road. Now, let's talk about technology. The Lexus LC 500 is loaded with features that American buyers love. You've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, an available Mark Levinson premium sound system with 13 speakers that can turn the cabin into a private concert hall, and all the driver assist features you'd expect in a modern luxury car. There's adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection. But here's something interesting. While many brands lean heavily into technology and digital touch controls, Lexus kept physical buttons and switches for many functions. This makes the car easier to use while driving, and it means you don't have to constantly deal with touchscreen menus just to adjust the air conditioning. Of course, no car is perfect, and if there's one area where the LC 500 has been criticized, it's the infotainment system. Lexus's touchpad-style controller is not the easiest to use, and it takes some time to get used to. But here's the thing, most owners say they barely notice it after a while because everything else about the car feels so refined and enjoyable. It's a small trade-off for what is otherwise a near-perfect package. Performance-wise, one thing many people overlook is how balanced the LC 500 feels on the road. Lexus spent years fine-tuning the suspension to strike the perfect balance between comfort and handling. This isn't a track car like a Porsche 911 GT3, but it's also not a soft cruiser that falls apart in corners. Instead, the LC 500 offers a middle ground. It's sporty and responsive when you want to push it, yet calm and composed when you're just cruising. The adaptive variable suspension adjusts in real time, soaking up bumps and delivering a smooth ride even on rough American roads. And when you switch it into Sport Plus mode, the car sharpens up, the exhaust gets louder, and suddenly you feel like you're driving something truly special. Let's talk about exclusivity. The LC 500 is not a common car on American roads. In fact, part of its charm is that you don't see them everywhere. While you might spot dozens of Porsche 911s or Mercedes Coupes in a single day, the LC 500 remains relatively rare. That rarity adds to the appeal because when you pull up in one, people take notice. And they don't just glance, they stare. The design is so striking that even non-car enthusiasts stop and ask questions. It's the kind of car that makes you feel like you're driving something far more expensive than it actually is. Speaking of price, the Lexus LC 500 starts at around $100,000 in the US, which puts it in direct competition with cars like the BMW 8 Series, Porsche 911 Carrera, and even some Jaguar F-Type models. But here's the kicker. None of those cars offer a naturally aspirated V8 anymore. This makes the LC 500 a unicorn in today's automotive world. It's one of the last remaining cars you can buy brand new that gives you that old school, naturally aspirated thrill with modern luxury and reliability. And let's be honest, Lexus reliability is legendary. While owning a European luxury coupe might mean expensive repairs and questionable reliability down the road, the LC 500 gives you peace of mind. That's something a lot of American buyers really value. Now, here's something most people don't know. The LC 500 was originally developed from the Lexus LC concept car, which was never supposed to make it to production. Automakers often show concept cars at auto shows just to gauge interest, and they rarely make it to reality. But the reaction to the LC was so overwhelmingly positive that Lexus decided to take the gamble and put it into production almost unchanged. That's why the LC looks so futuristic, because it was literally a concept car brought to life. This is also why it still feels like a dream car today, years after its debut. Another hidden gem about the LC 500 is the sound engineering. Lexus worked with Yamaha not just for the audio system, but also for tuning the exhaust and even adding resonators to the intake system. This collaboration means the car produces a sound that is musical, almost like a finely tuned instrument. When you rev the engine, it doesn't just roar, it sings, it builds, it resonates in a way that makes every drive emotional. The trunk space, well, let's be honest, it's not the most practical. At about 5.4 cubic feet, you won't be fitting a family's worth of luggage in here. But if you're buying an LC 500, practicality probably isn't at the top of your list. This is a lifestyle car, a statement, something you buy because you want to enjoy driving, not because you need to haul groceries. That said, it's more usable than people think. You can fit a couple of travel bags or even a set of golf clubs if you position them just right. For the American market, another big plus is Lexus's dealer experience. Owning an LC 500 doesn't just mean owning a luxury car, it means getting access to one of the best dealer networks in the industry. Lexus dealerships in the US are known for top-notch customer service, something that rivals often struggle with. That ownership experience adds real value over the years, especially when you're driving a car that you'll likely want to hold onto for a long time. So who is the LC 500 really for? It's for someone who appreciates design, sound, and craftsmanship just as much as performance. It's for the driver who doesn't just want speed but wants presence, drama, and emotion. It's for the buyer who understands that cars like this won't be around forever, and who wants to own a piece of history before the automotive world shifts fully to electrification. Because let's face it, the days of naturally aspirated version 8S are numbered. This car is a future classic in the making. At the end of the day, the Lexus LC 500 is more than just a luxury coupe. It's a celebration of driving, a piece of Japanese artistry, and a reminder that cars can still make us feel something beyond just transportation. It's not the fastest, not the most practical, and not the most high-tech. But it's easily one of the most soulful and rewarding cars you can buy today. And that's why so many people, once they experience it, fall completely in love. So if you're in the US and you're shopping for a car that combines beauty, performance, luxury, and reliability, and one that will make you stand out on every street, the Lexus LC 500 deserves a serious look. Because this isn't just a car you drive. This is a car you feel, a car you live with, a car that makes every single mile memorable. And in today's world, that's something truly rare.